Painkiller nearly 184. We're dying to start.
Kick it!
If I
So,
knew
Kyle,
Beastie
you
Boys
have
bet
to
it.
catch me up on everything.
Oh man. All right. So where to begin? So when Wings is streaming, his chat sort of picks at him with repeatedly asking the same questions until he's forced to answer whether he's got a fully formed thought or not. Or at least that's how he feels at times. And so I guess
Is kind of a tough spot, right? I'm sorry, you're laying it out. I'm great. You're gonna do great, but I feel like if I was live streaming and I was asked about a thing 1,700 times, then it would be hard for me not to reply.
yes. So I suppose he was asked about Keemstar, and he went on this Keemstar rant that almost needs to be seen to be understood. He's like, Keemstar is the worst human being alive. He said at one point, if Sharia law were ever introduced, he'd be the first one to go after to chop off their hands and feet. He is a despicable human being who deserves to die. He is a scammer of children and burn clinic
Wait,
survivors.
so just so I can get this straight in my head,
Yeah.
Wings is making Sharia law based. Like I'll go at to Keemstar. I'm just trying to get the right.
I don't know
Trajectory.
either. I don't know where Sharia law
Okay.
came in there, but I know that's part of the story.
Yeah, I'm just quoting the man himself. Okay, I know that Sharia law really wouldn't affect Keemstar necessarily. I mean, he's got the beard for it. He'd be okay.
That's
But
fair enough.
these are Wings of Redemption's words. Okay,
I'm just
so-
trying to track this. It's not a traditional story.
you need a bloodhound and a couple of years. You're never gonna fully understand the man himself. You
This is
just
like
gotta,
Memento. Like I'm trying to put pieces
Exactly.
into place. Okay.
It
so
requires
Sharia
multiple
law.
things. So he went on this rant. Keem deserves to die. That is basically his message, and he went for like 2 minutes about how Keem deserves to die and how he's the one who most deserves to die. He even said, "I've known some despicable human beings. I can only think of one person who maybe deserves to die more." And hey, that guy beat someone to death with a hammer and went to prison for it. So maybe he's worse than Keemstar, but I don't even know. He may be worse than the Conway Hammerer. It's hard to tell. So Keemstar took exception to this for some reason. Who can imagine?
He's very
And he-
sensitive.
And he was like, it sounds like you're threatening my life. It sounds like you're, at the very least, directing your followers to kill me.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Keemstar is playing victim here.
Yeah, he knows it.
Wings
He's-
is absolutely not issuing a death threat, right? He is wishing upon a star that in some alternative universe, where some alternative version of Sharia law was in order, that Keemstar would die. But Wings is not planning a death or directing anyone to kill him or anything like that. So what Keemstar does in reaction to this is tweets at Twitch and says, I don't want to misquote him, but something to the effect of, "Oh my gosh, do something about this. This man's issuing death threats against me." Keemstar is going after Wings of Redemption's livelihood and only lifeboat to this surgery to the next episode of his life.
To be
Wait,
fair,
so-
there was
so is
that
this
incident
happening
a
on-
few years ago, remember, where, and it got brought up in the call, though neither one of them could remember it nearly as well as I can.
I'm gonna mess it up too. The way he was gonna hire a hitman to break some guy's fingers.
Yeah, let me and fast forward,
What?
like lay that situation out. Here's
Please.
what actually happened, because somehow I got drug into it, like I was part of that scenario, and I really wasn't. But what actually happened is this, because I remember all of these bullshit little scenarios.
Tips. Yeah.
There was a YouTuber called That Guy Who Camps. Very nice young man. I say that because he was 16 or 17 years old at the time. I believe he had alopecia, where all your hair falls out. It was very unfortunate. He helped me out a ton. He helped a lot of YouTubers out. He allowed me to upload a video to his channel. It went super viral, got like 600,000 views in a couple days, boosted my subscribers by tens of thousands. It was very helpful to me, and he did that for lots of people.
He actually treated me
Great guy.
poorly. I could tell my story after the flow.
Maybe he didn't like you. Loved
No, I
me. Had a great relationship with him.
Let me do it in 10
complaint.
seconds.
I'm having so much difficulty tracking all this drama.
He was going to make a video with a sort of my opinion on Woody. And I was like, hey, you know what? Knock yourself out. Well, why don't you talk to me, and we'll make sure that it's like everything you say is kind of factually correct, and it's not going to come from like the Pwn Stars and Keemstars of the world. And we talked, and he decided not to make the video. But, yeah, that's where it was going down.
Well, that sounds kind of like a neutral scenario. He was like, after I met you, I don't think I can make a nice video. I'll just step away from the table.
Yeah, I don't think
In
Yeah,
any
what
case.
if that was his video? How much I admire Woody's gamer tag. And you're like, let's make sure these are facts, sir. And he's like crossing things off the list. Oh, I guess you're right.
That's funny.
Anyway, so like at this point, Kyle, back to the drama at hand. Is this happening on a stream? Is this
Let me
happening
finish
on
that
Twitter?
up because I could do it very quickly.
Okay.
So that guy who camps is in a tiff with Wings of Redemption over some bullshit gaming stuff. Wings is talking about that guy who camps in videos poorly, and that day that sent quite a few people to that guy who camps videos, and they're attacking him. They're flagging his videos. So that guy who camps goes to Keemstar and says, "I'm being attacked by Big Bad Wings of Redemption, and I don't even know why." So Keemstar, who at the time is the man over on Ustream, I believe, on that streaming service, he literally had the biggest stream on that entire service for gaming at the very least. He goes on a tear one night. He's like, go to Wings of Redemption's channel. And he's streaming himself on Wings of Redemption's channel. He's like, flag this video and flag that video, flag all the videos. And so Wings gets like 30 strikes. And as a Machinima partner, Machinima gets like 30 strikes. So they get on the phone to Jordy, and they're like, look, you got to sort this out or we're cutting you loose. You're about to take the whole ship down like your junkyard or something. So they put together this meeting of the minds where I believe it was Fwiz who like mediated it. Could be wrong about that, but a Machinima spokesperson mediates this meeting of Wings of Redemption and Keemstar over gaming footage, and they're supposed to like hash all this out. So at the very end of their hashing it out, which seems to be going very positively, Wings is like, I just want to check on a few things. Keem, do you still live at 1749 Bridge Street over in blah, blah, blah? And he's like, what are you doing? Is your girlfriend's name still Maurice Ponderosa? Where are you going with this? And he starts like laying out he's like, oh, no, I'm just trying to make sure my information's correct. And Wings is sort of basically laying out to Keem that he has researched him and he's ready to, quote unquote, pull the trigger on a hit of some kind. Jordy is the kind of man who at one point was going to send Sharif to hammer a pro gamer's hands and break them because that man had scammed Jordy out of a couple of $1,000s. Wings had paid this man to be part of a pro gaming team. This man took the money, went to a different programming team, and Wings thought, I'll just break his hand
I think he paid
because
for the
I'm
man's
Tony
travel
Soprano.
expenses, if I recall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Sure. Yeah. I'm going to break the man's hand. So you got to keep that's present
Okay,
during
I'll log
today's
that.
drama, right? You know, that Wings has contemplated doing something to Keem in real life before. So maybe Keem thought of that. It would have been interesting if that got brought up in the whole debate, but it didn't. So I'm talking to Chiz, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, they're going to fucking debate on Wings Twitch. And I was already on Wings Twitch, of course, as I always am during the day. He's playing music, chilling with subscribers. Things are going fine. All of a sudden enters Keemstar, and I'm watching the viewer number at the bottom. He's got like 380 people in there, 480, 580, 680, 780, 1080, 1,300 people watching now. And they start debating, and they go at it for an hour, and it is a shit show.
Is the money flowing in?
No, he made like $275 or something like
Someone
that.
donated 20 somethings for like, would he get in here? Stop looking at high tea women. I don't understand.
Yeah,
how
that's
donations
$2.
work. Okay.
$2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the bits, like 1,000 bits is like $1, I think, or $10, excuse me. So maybe
Okay.
that was $20 now that I think about it, because I've given him
It might have
1,000
been
bits.
20 bits though. It might have been.
So, that's a very small amount of money at 20 bits. Then I don't even know what that is. It's like 20.
Or is it $2?
That might be $2. Yeah.
All right, point being.
It was a real shit show because Wings can't debate. He doesn't know how to do that, and it just kept going in all these weird
More
directions.
of an argument
It was more of an argument, and it didn't make any sense. And Keem definitely got the best of it. At one point, Keem's like, "Why did you get kicked off your own podcast?" Well, Wings like, "Well, there were a lot of reasons. I did a lot of things, you know." And and Keem's like, he's like, it was that survival trip when you bitched out. That's what did it. And he's like, well, that was part of the equation. Yes.
He's right.
He's like, you know what you should do? Keem is just constantly like going around anything Wings has to say against him and like throwing old shit in Wings' face and then telling him how to fix it and like taking control of the whole thing. He's like, you should go on your own survival trip and redeem yourself. Survival trip of redemption. Even if you do it in your backyard. And Wings is like, man, I can't even walk to the mailbox. He's like, well, do it in your backyard then. Anywhere. Get there and do it. Hey, chat, you want Wings to go on a survival trip of redemption? Press 1. And the chat goes, once. Just 1,000 ones at the speed of light are flashing up there. And Wings
I'm not
like,
Keem's biggest fan, but that was pretty good.
It was great.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Great.
Keem, one notch in your column.
And Keem says, all right, well, let's do this. How about this? You've got these millionaire friends. You got all these people who supposedly love you. They won't give you a dime. I'll give you $25,000. I'll pay for your entire American weight loss surgery if you fight me in 1 year. If you fight me in 1 year in the ring, Wings. How about that?
I saw this part.
And
Now, real quick, is this a real promise of I will genuinely give you 25 grand, or is this bloviating?
Look,
he's got the money.
I believe he has the money. Yeah, you can look at his. If we're professional YouTubers, so we can estimate his channel revenue probably better than average, and I think he has the money. He does have a long history of exaggerating his wealth.
Well, he's done all those games, and he's a millionaire, and then probably a couple times over.
Probably, I don't know. YouTube AdSense is not a great way to get rich. Like, it doesn't pay as well as owning a business or whatever. But I just know he was broke after Fortress Craft, pretending to be rich. But I see what his channel's earning, and I think he's doing great now.
Yeah. He's got the money, and the thing about this is it would pay for itself if he did it in the promotion. Yeah. And however you sold it, like he wouldn't lose money paying Wings of Redemption $25,000 to fight him. He'd make money back.
He probably would. How would you monetize that? I mean, you can't
there's
actually
that KSI
get a direct
fight.
TV deal or anything.
With that KSI fight, they had like 1 million viewers on both channels watching that thing, right? Like live.
Oh, did they do it?
I believe so. I'm not
thought it was
positive,
a future
but
thing. I don't know.
It could be, but
this would have been like two birds
what I understand that was the
with one stone for Wings too, because it would force him to get in like not intensely good shape, but good enough shape that he could fight Keemstar for like a year from now.
Yeah,
have like a St. Valentine's Day match.
So what you're saying is that Wings has been lacking motivation all this time, and I'm saying I don't know that there's any motivation. So like this whole bariatric surgery thing, and I want to go off on a tangent too long. What it does for you is it gives you the discipline you don't actually have, right? It's forced discipline. It's not easier in that you do suffer a lot to lose this weight, but it is easier in that you don't have to provide your own willpower. It's
you don't have
surgically implanted willpower. That's what it's all about. And if you think that a fight coming up in a year is, like sort of almost parallel to surgically implanted willpower, I would argue against that.
Oh, it would be for me. I was thinking, like, I'm just putting myself in Wings' shoes. I'm like, fucking say yes and go on a Rocky montage, right? Like get yourself a trainer, vlog this shit, a couple vlogs a week of you doing your boxing training, your weight loss training. Forget the surgery. We're going to pocket this money because now the weight loss journey is about getting in shape to fight Keemstar.
That's an excellent point.
We lose 150 pounds in this year. We show up to the ring 300 pounds of
lean, mean fighting machine.
I wouldn't go that far. Let's just go with fighting machine.
A big rig, yeah.
Yeah, that would be. Ooh, that's a good fighting name. Oh yes, like just at Wings at 300 pounds would beat up Keem at 200 pounds, and Keem's at 250 right now. He's planning on losing a lot of weight this year, and I'm sure he would want to get trained up and get ready for this boxing match. If you give him a year's worth of time. My money would be on Wings though in that scenario. If both spent a year training and going forward, Wings is just the bigger guy.
He's about 2 or
And-
3 inches taller.
Yes, a couple inches taller, and also like losing that fat, but still staying active. I just imagine that his undercarriage is just built for war. It's just his legs have been fighting.
That
a
is
fight.
quite the imagination you've got there.
Have you seen those calves?
Yeah,
They
the
look
calves
like
are
hydraulic
legit.
pistons.
Yeah, his calves are he's got mass in them.
Next,
But I think his
level.
upper body's kind of atrophied in real life. That you know.
definitely is.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
is. It'd need
Well,
a
that's why he
year
need to do
of-
all that training.
I think he needs surgically implanted discipline. I don't think that a fight, especially a fight 12 months from now, is going to do anything to make Wings actually move. I think
It's certainly not.
You know
He
what?
said no.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay, when I watched, he said, "Do I have to decide now?" That was where it was when I left off. When
I knew.
you knew, but I lost, derailed my train of thought.
You said Wings
Oh,
needs
the
surgical
survival
motivation.
trip. Wings was all on board on the survival trip, right? And one of the reasons that he did so poorly on the survival trip in the public eye is not that he bowed out. If he had said, "Man, I wish I could go with you guys, but I'm a 400 some odd pound man and I'm not built for it. You know, I'd love to do it, but maybe someday. We should do it next year." Like if that was where he was, like Lefty did. Lefty from the beginning was like, survival trip, not my cup of tea. You guys knock yourself out. And Wings' reaction to that was, "Lefty, you're a pussy. You're such a pussy, Lefty. A real man like Woody, Kyle, and I, we're going to go out there in the woods. All my friends are going to see my accomplishment having survived off the land. Lefty,
For 2 days.
you're a pussy,
5
Lefty.
days.
Lefty's such a pussy." He said that 100 times. And he said he wasn't a real man 100 more. And then he backed out. That's what would happen if he agreed to fight Keemstar.
Well, he would be in
I
a
don't
lot
know,
of
but
trouble.
he wasn't
if
going
he
to make 25 grand off the survival trip. Like,
No, he
this,
wasn't. but
he's got this pipe dream of getting his surgery done, and this is enough to pay for the whole thing in the U.S.
he already
so
has
already,
enough to pay for the thing in the U.S. That's the thing. Like people get so the ignorance about this annoys me almost as much
don't
as
know
the
his
ignorance about the
finances at
gun
all.
show.
I'm annoyed by Taylor as well.
Not
sorry.
Taylor's
I
ignorant.
have not
Everyone's
kept up.
ignorant about this. Everyone's like, well, this would give him enough money to get it done. He's already got the money. He's had the money. This is like that gun show loophole bullshit. It's like, yeah, if we could get rid of that gun show loophole,
No one
there
has that,
isn't
right?
one, you fools. They're lying to you.
Yes.
Like this is the same thing because he's had the money to do it in the United States for weeks now, weeks and weeks. He's had it, and plus, don't forget, this isn't like I was gonna say not like buying a car, but it's much like buying a car. You can make payments on this thing,
Kyle,
right?
Tell me if I'm wrong, because I might be one of those people that frustrate you. He has the money, perhaps, to afford the surgery, but there's some wraparound costs, right? Like he might be
Taxes, which
Okay,
also
taxes,
can
is
go
it-
on a payment plan. He's
taxes are a good example. I didn't think of that, but I was more thinking of like, he doesn't have any sick days, so he needs enough cash to keep him afloat. Maybe he's unable to work for 2 weeks or something.
he's not thinking about that.
He has
Trust me.
other expenses, that he needs to have a little cushion. He can't do a surgery for every dime he has. And then
You're
be
making
okay.
good points, but these aren't points that have actually held him back. He certainly hasn't thought of any of these things.
and if he can't work for 2 weeks after that, how's he going to pop back on a Delta flight 36 hours later?
He's
Zoom
not.
back to-
That's the
No, I'm
most
talking about-
entertaining part of the equation, Taylor.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Just vlog
He's
it.
going to do it in
Not gonna work.
So there's this weird thing going on, right? And I'm almost hesitant to say this, but I just will.
I
Here's-
just will.
Here's what's going on. All right. Here's the nitty gritty, deep dark, scary truth. He can get that surgery done in Conway, South Carolina, and he can it's 30 minutes from his house or something like that. He can get that thing and be in his own bed in like 40 minutes or
Can I ask you a
something like
question?
that. Yep.
Do you know this for sure, or
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
this?
I know this for sure.
Okay.
But he's the expense. The reason he wants more and more money is he wants to get the surgery, pay his trailer off, and then transition into a new life and leave YouTube and Twitch completely behind, all in one shot. That's what he's trying to do here.
Uh-huh.
And he's being pushed to do this by his mother. And, he kept saying in that Twitch chat, "Got to talk to mama. Got to talk to mama." And Kitty jumps in there. He's like, "How old are you?
Is
You're
he?
31 years old.
He's 32 in like a month.
You got to talk to your mother." Right. Okay. All right. Got to talk to your mommy then. it's just like his
So
mom
Kitty hopped
is
in.
pushing. Yeah, absolutely. His mom is pushing hard for him to do it in Mexico because she wants a big chunk of his savings to go into paying off the trailer. Which now here's the part where I'm guessing. I think his mom still owns the trailer.
Oh,
You know, his mom
yes.
has always owned the trailer. Wings has already paid that trailer off once before, thinking that he owned it. And his mom's like, "Nah, you don't own it. In fact, I'm going to take out a loan on the trailer, put you more in debt. I got some stuff to buy." I think his mom wants him to die in Mexico with the trailer paid off. It's what it sounds like to me. I think she wants him to die in Mexico, get that trailer paid off, and walk away with a nice little chunk of Jordy Jordan's money.
That's not a thing most moms target.
That is macabre. Okay, so what do we know about Wing's mom? Is she the kind of lady that might do that?
Yeah.
Because you have to be a genuine to send your son to Mexico hoping he dies in a surgery.
Well, she's
That's
coming
like-
along, right?
That's like
See,
movie level evil, you know?
She's gonna
Like,
be
I think
right
this is
there.
this is a little far fetched.
she's going to be like, "Dr. Garcia, why don't we wait a few minutes while he's under? We don't need to bring him back right away, do we?"
Kyle, can
I
I?
already tell you I am not the doctor. Yes, you are, Dr. Garcia. I work across the way at the taco truck.
I just sell sedatives. Kyle,
Yeah.
let me ask Taylor's question again. What do we know about Wing's mom? Because there are things that I don't know that I might have wrong about Wing's mother that are serious allegations to the point where you don't make them when
I know you.
when you're not
I know
sure.
what you're thinking right now. You're thinking about. Let me type it to you, and you tell me if this is exactly what you're thinking right now. And I don't think this is true. This is true.
I've seen his
You think
grandma
that that's the
video or
case?
two.
That is only one of them, but yeah, that is
Yeah.
actually probably top on the list.
We have no evidence of that.
Where did
Okay,
we hear
and I don't
that?
believe that.
Believe that.
That's
All right.
I think what Woody thinks is worse than what I think. Taylor, you tell me what's worse, what Woody thinks of her or what I think of her.
Oh man. These are two very similarly sized pillars of shit that we're looking at.
But okay, in fairness,
Wait,
I
has
didn't
his
say the
mom
thing
ever
I
been on
think
a
out
video?
loud. What'd you say?
Has his mom ever been on a video?
Oh,
Because I know it was
mhm.
only his grandma and then that other guy. My lore of Wings of Redemption is so not up to snuff compared to you guys. That's sad.
No, but
Okay.
that was a question though. These I'm not putting question marks on these, but these are all for Kyle on the
Oh,
list of
yeah.
what do we know about Wing's mom.
That's true. Yeah.
The
yeah,
last
or-
one's a true one.
Yeah, I would say so. We don't know the exact details
Mhm.
of that, but he was raised by his grandmother, right? And look, the thing is, the mom is pushing for Mexico, even though he has the money for Conway, South Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why?
That's ridiculous. Well, because man, I really can't think of a reason why you would push for Mexico
Unless
compared to
you're
30
hoping
minutes
that
down the
he's-
road.
unless you want more of his money to be invested in paying that trailer off again, and potentially being left over should he not make it.
But man, this is so convoluted. I'm
Kyle,
trying to.
I don't think that your line of thinking is on target. I just can't get my arms around the idea. I know that the pieces fit, right? Like, hey, why don't we do a cheaper surgery? We'll have more money left over.
A
You know,
cheaper, more dangerous surgery.
a cheaper, probably more dangerous.
Definitely
I
more
think,
dangerous,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like so. I don't think of Mexico
Recovery alone.
as quite the like 18th world country that you guys do,
It's
but
not that.
I could be wrong.
It's the travel. Like
It's the
no
recovery
doctor
time
will tell
2
you
days after.
to take a cross country flight with your stomach stapled. What if the staples come loose mid flight and he bleeds out internally?
Yeah, like that's the risk. It's not that the Mexicans are going to mess it up because I'm sure they do this all the time for people who live in San Diego and just hoof it back. But
They
or people
walk
who just
back.
who just
Like,
they walk
swim
back.
across the Rio Grande.
My
Wait,
stitches. Like,
Should the cut be on my back?
God, I feel one kidney-ish. Do you feel
Yeah.
one kidney-ish?
I've already lost about 8.5 pounds. What did they cut out?
Yeah, I don't know. While all the pieces fit, it's not a storyline that makes sense to me because it's not what I know about moms. Even
just-
my mom never wanted me to die so she could get my money.
Well, maybe she doesn't know. Have you told her how much you're worth? She'd be like,
Yes.
"Oh, Woody, maybe you should go under the knife. Yeah, get this fixed, get that fixed. I have a doctor in Guatemala. He's
Woody,
very good.
I
No,
love you.
not in North
I've been
Carolina,
watching your
Guatemala.
paramotor videos, and I think you're a bit of a pussy.
Woody, why no 360s? Why no barrel roll? Come on, do some loop-de-loops over a canyon, pussy. Mom,
Yeah.
don't make me get the ice scrapers, huh? Be a man.
Please don't talk about ice scrapers. I get a little PTSD around those.
I was at a store the other day and I like gathered up a handful of ice scrapers and I was about to send a picture of myself like,
You
like
should
why
have.
I oughta
Ah,
like hold them up.
I
And I
wish
was
you
like,
had.
that's stupid.
Oh no, I would have liked that joke.
But back to wings. Yeah, like all right. So maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm out of left field. I'm not trying to be mean about that, and I realize that's a sensitive issue. But that's what Chiz and I both think in our like private conversations. We think Wing's mom wants him dead, and she wants his money because like I don't think she's ever had 25 grand to just clutch onto. Everybody in that family seems to be kind of on disability or unemployment or something. His brother's a crackhead who steals from everyone.
Is this confirmed?
Which parts?
The brother part.
The part about the crackhead.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The source is Wings in his videos.
I'm just making sure. I'm just
And
doing my fact check.
Actually, I'm not. Is it crack or coke?
Crack. Well, he might dabble in coke, but that's expensive.
Okay. Because I think he started with coke, and
Does his brother live on Madison Avenue?
I don't get that reference. I'm sorry.
It's a expensive place to live in New York City.
Yes. I was gonna say because if not, it's probably crack.
Yeah.
Because that's,
Okay.
that's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's crack.
Okay.
Via Wings. He's like he said, quote, "My brother's a crackhead and he steals from me, so we're not on good terms."
You could interpret that in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I'm reading between those lines. And
There's a video where Wings is like, my Xbox 360 was out in the shed, and someone on stream offered me $400 for it, and I was like, well, shit, yeah, you can have Wings Redemption's hallowed Xbox 360 for $400.
First to 10th prestige on YouTube.
Yeah, went out there to get it. A lot of stuff missing. I think that the story, his story's a little foggy, but I think all the peripherals are gone. Right? They've been pawned away. Lots of stuff is getting taken and pawned away. You hear about that all the time. With when someone's an addict, they steal from their family members and they pawn off little innocuous items that might not be missed right away. They don't take the TV right off the wall, but they'll go in the attic and get your extra computer monitor, or they'll go in a drawer and steal your cash or jewelry that you don't wear regularly, that sort of thing. And that's what he's been doing.
That makes sense, actually. I think that's a clever addict. And when you were like, you hear about that all the time, I'm like, what? No, my shit doesn't just go missing all the time.
Well, it doesn't happen to me
okay,
either.
socks, I'll give you.
There's a very sly crackhead that lives nearby. He's like, don't take too much. I don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
Taking your
Oh,
nice
yeah.
stuff. Oh, there's Goto in here.
He hasn't touched that guitar in 3 years. Just go missing from the attic and he won't notice for 3 more.
So
So what we do know is he could get the surgery in Conway right now, and his mother's pushing him to Mexico. Now,
So that he
if
has
Wings
money
is
for the
listening to
rest.
this, I would say do it in Conway. It's not that Dr. Garcia is not a good doctor. It's that you'd like to be able to zoot home right afterward and recover, right? Like
I would
not
say
get to the airport and then sit there. Like there, no doctor in even the Mexican doctors, when you're like, yep, I got my flight at 3:30, like 3:30 today. Oh no, that's not good. I do not recommend that.
I would recommend.
What do you know? You're
research.
Mexican.
Research the travel thing. Wings, I'm still on your team with this thing. If you're watching, and I just have a feeling it's going to get to him, right? Anytime you say something about anyone on YouTube, there's 1,000 guys who are listening on their behalf.
you should know these things.
Your
Your mother's trying to kill you.
I think he should research, because sometimes when I decide to fly first class or coach, right? It'll be like, aha, first class is whatever, 1,500 more over the course of 5 hours. Do I want to earn $300 an hour to sit in coach? And like that's the kind of equation that goes through my head. So Wings can ask himself, that flight home might be the most unpleasant day of your life. And you might earn $9,000 to suffer through it. Just find out if that's worth it to you. You know, like Taylor, let's say that you had a really unpleasant day, like it was a root canal that couldn't be fixed, and it's, you know, whatever 10 is on your pain scale. Would you suffer for a 14-hour travel ordeal for 10 grand? Maybe.
Yeah, but
Maybe,
it's not
right?
the same as an invasive surgery. Like me doing something with my tooth and like having to take a flight where I just suffer my ass
Low
off
risk.
on just a couple of painkillers. Like, yeah, that would suck. But like if they cut into my stomach and they're like, hey, I could save $9,000 if I just fly back from Mexico, despite the fact that there's not a medical professional on the planet who would recommend this. Like there's no way I would do that. Like you could literally die. If something goes wrong up there, some pressure change, some jostling of too much turbulence, like any amount of things.
He could sit
could
next
go
to an
I have a
asshole
thing.
like me who elbows for the armrest.
You could.
I
and
have a
then
thing.
it
Okay,
bursts your
so
stitches.
I was on a private flight a couple years ago, and what I noticed was when we had these bags of chips, like the little individual serving bags of chips. There were snacks provided for us in the back seat, and when you get to altitude, they expand because the air on the outside is thinner than the air that's contained on the inside. So it's trying to expand and make that equilibrium. That would happen to Wings, right? He would be expanding as he went to altitude. Larger and larger.
You're
until he
assuming that
potentially
Wings
popped.
is airtight. I don't think Wings is airtight, right?
I mean,
We'd all
you would
be
hope his
airtight.
stomach cavity is.
Yeah, all of us are airtight. Just hold your breath.
Well, no, but I mean, over the course of a flight, I don't think people expand, do they?
You absolutely
don't
definitely
know.
do.
I really don't think this is a thing.
No, of course it's not a thing.
You
I
gain
mean,
an
he's
inch
gonna-
of waist every. No, you know what you do? What is horrible is when I've gone on business trips where I have like the flu or a head cold, like when you have like sinus congestion, like your ears and everything, you feel like your head's gonna pop when you're like taking off or landing if you have a bad head thing because of the pressure. Like it wasn't. I landed 2 Fridays ago. It wasn't until 3 days ago that I was talking to someone and I felt like and I was like, oh. I haven't been able to hear out of my left ear for
Listen
like
to this.
weeks now. Like, and then I just got used to it.
I have a link here from the Huffington Post. It says, as a plane rises and the cabin pressure drops, the gas in your intestines expands. Your stomach might feel full or cramped. Think of that water bottle that has expanded and explodes a little when you try to open it mid-flight. So if you have to get rid of some gas, just let it out. Oh man, it just
I
got
have
a little bit
counter
worse.
this argument. Wings' stomach has never felt full.
It might after they like
I'm a
remove
dick.
most of it, right?
Yeah, I know. And,
All right,
you know
so-
what? So I actually, as you guys say all this, you're kind of winning me over. That this sounds like the pressure difference, especially with something like a digestive system that holds solids and gases and liquids and the whole 9 yards, might be the kind of thing you don't fuck with on a flight shortly after a surgery.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's
Yeah.
So
terrible
he
idea.
also said, let's see, there was a lot said. He wants to transition into a new career, right? And he mentioned utilizing his degree in metallurgy.
He also said that it wasn't really a degree because I
Yeah,
think I
yeah, I
heard
was
this
gonna
part. Yeah.
And he's like, well, not exactly a degree in metallurgy, which leads me to think, like, what is it? Is it a certificate
Experience
of
in
metallurgy?
No, I think it's less than that. I think he has experience in metallurgy.
I want to know more about that. I really, really want to know more about that experience in metallurgy. And what he said something about going into the emergency services field. I don't know what that even means.
911
that could
operator.
mean like 911 operator all the way to like paramedic.
Because you know what though, that aligns with some previous dreams. He used to want to be a fireman. That's the ultimate Wings of Redemption dream, fireman. But I think he's kind of let that one pass, right? Because he's a long way from the physical requirements that like a rookie fireman would have to.
Not if he does this Keemstar boxing match. Then
There's
he's already
no-
halfway there.
Look, fireman
And he's
has
got
been his
25K to
dream.
buy his suit and his supplies.
He's dreamed of being a fireman for longer than I've known him. And that dream hasn't motivated him to make any progress. I'm just convinced in my heart of hearts and my soul of souls that he needs what I'm calling surgical discipline. Discipline surgically implanted. There is no dream or no consequence that will get him to cut back on sugars.
Okay, so then there's then there's the nitty-gritty details about all this that make him look bad when they get pulled out of him, right? Like, he's been talking about this for a long time, but he hasn't got a surgery date. He hasn't got a doctor's date to look at any of this stuff. It seems that all he's really done is gotten online and looked up complications. He's talking about gallstones and how those frighten him.
Mhm.
Now he's talking about stuff like that. But then he added, I've already bought the flights. And remember, I looked up the flight costs and they were $550, $600, something like that. He's like, oh, no. They were $400 each. And I was like, well, you got a good deal then.
But plausible.
But what day is the flight, Wings? Since you haven't contacted the doctors, you haven't gotten your blood work done, you haven't even decided yet, but you've picked a flight date? And then he's like, you can move those days around. I guess I don't get those kind of plane tickets when I fly.
Wings has, so that is a kind of plane ticket that exists. You may know this. You can buy plane tickets without dates. Sometimes you do that as a gift or something. Like, hey, Kyle, I got you and your sweetheart a trip to Africa. You just tell Delta when you want to go, and they'll, lock it in for you.
Can I cash them in for money?
I don't know, actually. That part I don't know.
Dark continent. Well, come on! I want you to watch me land in Johannesburg. You're never landing in Johannesburg.
I may have mixed your gift with my
take
dreams.
You long before then.
But you can do that. Those tickets are way more expensive. Those flexible tickets, the inexpensive one, are locked in, and that just ties into Wings has always been very bad at lying, right? I believe Wings has been caught in practically every lie he's told, and I'm painting him out to be as a serial liar when I feel like the current version of Wings lies much less, but he did lie right there.
So, the mistake he's making is not fighting Keemstar, in my opinion, because if I were in his shoes, I would use that as a motivation to get in shape and lose the weight naturally. I would be like, wow, that's a lot of money. And forget about the $25,000. Think about all the money he'd make growing the channel, the big boost he'd get when the fight did happen, but also the lead up to it over the next year, talking about it all the time. We'd be talking about it. We'd be like, have you seen the new Wings boxing vlog? Holy shit, he's down to 360 pounds. I wouldn't want to tangle with 360 pounds of Wings. He'd probably just muscle you into the corner, right? He'd cut you off. You might be in some trouble. Did you see him doing those agility exercises? Holy shit, he's quick on his feet now. We'd be talking about it. Keem would be talking about it. Keem's got
a surgery.
Keem's got I don't remember what his Twitter account is, but it's like 1.7 million or something. That's a big Twitter account, and he's got a big following. Mm-hmm. Everybody'd be talking about this shit. It'd be big for the same reason. There you go. It'd be big for the same reason Mayweather fights are big. Everybody wants to see Mayweather get beaten up. A lot of people would want to see Keemstar get beaten up. Oh, they would get behind Wings of Redemption.
There are a lot of people who want to see Wings get beaten up.
That too.
But want to see is the common denominator in both of these.
Yeah. It would be a big fight. It'd be bigger than any normal amateur boxing match. Like you could. There would be millions of people interested in this thing. There would be well over $100,000 to be made on Wings' part, not counting the channel rejuvenation, what it would do for him physically, what it would do for him mentally to gain those skills and to gain that confidence and all the things that would come along with it. If he dedicated himself to that, he would come out 1 year from today at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Wings of Redemption versus Keemstar at wherever they fight.
Dude, there is no chance. What's going to happen is 8 months from now, we're going to be like, does he look lighter to you? No. I think he's bigger. It's hard to tell. And
good thing or a bad thing?
It's like Keemstar looks lighter. How mean do you think Keemstar is, right? Because
you'd see Keem literally You see Keemstar's videos, and he's over there hitting like a
'Cause-
half of beef, and every time he hits it, like the bones crack a little.
I
And
don't
then you go
really
to
takes a
Wings
bite.
channel. You go to Wings channel, and he's hitting the beef, and then he gives up halfway through and starts gnawing at it.
I don't really know what current Keemstar looks like. He said if he said he weighed 250, right? Which is that? Did you hear that from him?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So current Keemstar must be on the chubby side, right? But I've seen him on the chubby side, and then like he and Blade got together and worked out, and Keemstar got a Fitbit, and he made noticeable changes to his body. I believe that if he had this thing to motivate him, he's already motivated. The Keem actually would get into some kind of fighting shape.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think Wings actually wouldn't. And I
that's
don't mean that as a mean thing. Wings has had every piece of non-surgical motivation over the last 9 years that I've known him, and
I agree.
Nothing's worked. Nothing's
I agree with you
worked.
100%. I'm not saying. I'm telling you what Wings should do. What I would do if I were Wings. What you would do if you were Wings.
Mhm.
If you were given this opportunity, I'm sure you'd jump at it, right? If Keem was going to pay you 25 grand to fight him in a year, would you take that?
Boom.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Kyle,
Hey,
insert
how
the
does
name of
twice
anyone
sound?
else
Let's
in
run
the
it
gaming
twice.
community.
Keem, I'll let you
Hang
fight
on.
me. Keem, you can fight me for 50 grand twice in a day. How does that sound?
Think of the savings.
but
Well,
yeah.
like the whole point, like put the name of anyone in the gaming community in there. If there's a guy who's like really into WWE and he's gonna beat the shit out of me or something, like 25K, I'll take a few punches.
Yeah. Now, well, by the way, Keem isn't going to pay Wings. Keem, he set it up in such a way that he had to pay directly to the surgeons or something like that.
Well, he said he'd do it either way. Of course,
oh,
like, if
not in the. I didn't see the whole thing.
if you were going to actually do it, what would have to be done is a lawyer would have to be involved with an escrow account. That money would have to
Yeah.
be put in escrow, and then the lawyer would facilitate the transaction so that if Wings didn't go through with this, the lawyer's like, well, Mr. Keem, here's your money back.
The other side of this, I'm thinking about this deal. What can't happen is have like Keem own like whatever pay-per-view he'd end up wrapping around this and earning 75 grand while I got 25. Fuck that. No. I
Equal
want
split,
25
you're like-
grand
you're-
plus the even split.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
He would have to give up the 25. He would have to make less than 25 grand less than I do out of this. That's the scoop.
Or maybe there'd be lots of ways to
Yeah.
slice the pie.
No
I'm
way
sure.
he's gonna make like $250,000 off pay-per-view, give me 25 grand, and have me look like an ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not my
for
first
sure.
business deal either.
And the other thing is, everybody would be wearing headgear, of course, because it's a non-sanctioned boxing match, right?
it would be an MMA match. Boxing is
No, I
for
think it was
pussies.
boxing.
Well, no, it's not. Not when I'm in it.
Well,
There's no
I'm
way
just
I
talking
would-
about Wings and
Yeah,
and
well,
Keemstar fighting.
Kyle changed the topic to me. There's no way I'm gonna give up my fucking years of grappling experience for this. I'm not doing boxing.
So the answer is no. You would not box Keemstar for
The
25.
answer is yes. I would fight him in an octagon.
No,
You
but
would
the
point-
question
it's
is, would
martial
you
arts.
box
I've
Wings
changed the
for-
question. And
Okay, Mr. Trump, what do you think about gun control? Is the NRA with you, or are you prepared to go up against him? Well, there's some
people
great
are
people there.
scared of
They're
the
patriots.
NRA. Yeah, I don't know why they're scared of the NRA. All they have to do is adopt all the same ideas. That is that.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
fair enough. In any case, he said no.
That's
He
too
said
bad.
today on Twitter that he's like, I don't want to fight anybody. I'm
I
not
bet he's
with
mulling it
that.
over. Like, I bet it's not a final no, right?
It's a final no. Hey,
Is it?
I could totally tell when I jumped in the call with him, because I even tried to give him that out, because me and Jive Turkey, you seem like a really nice guy. I don't have a lot of interactions with Jive, but I enjoy talking to him. I'm sure in his history he's probably wronged somebody. I don't know if he's attacked you or something, but
Yeah, he has.
seemed very chill, very nice guy to me, and I enjoyed speaking with him. And White Boy was in there, and Kitty jumped in there, and we were all kind of talking to him and joking about it a little bit. And at one point, I could tell that he didn't want to do this. You could just tell by his tone. I was like, Wings, there's a lot of people here, and it'd be good if you just went ahead and said, if you don't want to do this, just say it, because we're all trying to find ways to make the puzzle pieces fit together for you so that you can do it. We're trying to show you the bright side of this. But if you're just adamantly opposed to this, just let us know. And then that thing, the conversation just got away from us at that point. But I could tell he doesn't want to fight anybody. He wants to he wants to get this weight loss surgery and do whatever his mom wants him to do, and that's going to be that.
Mm.
Man,
Huge missed opportunity.
I'll get weight loss surgery if someone pays for it. You know,
What?
like
No, that
for
would be a
for
bad
boxing
idea
match.
for you. Why would you do that?
I don't know. I was fucking around. Like, there's
Yeah, I'm
be
still
no
thinking
point
about
to
this
that.
because I'm sure Keemstar's going to watch this, and I wonder if he'll accept this offer of like doing a deal and splitting it down the middle.
No, he wouldn't want to fight you in mixed martial arts because you have years of training.
I bet. I don't know. I'm putting myself in his head, and he's thinking that he doesn't respect it.
Well, how old is
He's
is
not a fool.
Keemstar? Is he your age? Is he younger?
No,
Is
he's
he...
younger than me, but he's older than people think. He might be 37.
I'd guess 34, 35. I don't really know.
Okay, it's like 10 years difference.
I remember seeing a clip once, and I don't remember the context. Whether in my head, Keem was the good guy in the scenario, but and for some reason he got into a physical altercation with a guy outside of like at nighttime outside of a gaming convention. Do you remember this clip?
Oh yeah,
And
I know
there's
it.
some
Yeah,
punches thrown, and like the other guy gets tossed to the ground, and Keem looks very aggressive and very physical in that clip. I just
yeah. Really?
the way I recall.
I remember Keem getting the best of this guy, and this guy outweighing Keem. But I don't remember either of them. They both had like plumber's crack, and like it wasn't a good look, I thought, like in terms of grappling.
I've got the video if you want to watch it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I should be able
It's it's not on anyone's channel really. It's Fubar. #1 comment. Damn, his butt crack showed.
to.
Well, I
Number
hope
2
Wings
comment, crack
reconsiders.
kills.
Just want to be double sure I can show this. Because like technically, it should all work. I set everything up. Yeah, everything works. Are you ready?
Yes.
What are you gonna do?
I'll start playing.
Seriously, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna lie to me? You fucking lie to me?
You remember Keem being the good guy?
I
Oh,
don't remember the impetus of the fight, but it looks like he's the aggressor here. But what caused him to be the aggressor? Like
I think there was some back and forth trash talk prior to this.
yeah, you never know. Have we started the video?
Oh, mine auto started. I thought we all started.
I'm at 20 seconds. Sorry, I watched him throw the heavy guy on the ground.
Yeah, Keem looks physical in it. Like, I don't know how to better describe it. Like, Keem looks like he has good balance.
He didn't wear his fighting pants.
Yeah, I'm watching Keem in there. Take away the fact that he could be a few pounds lighter and such. He got kind of an overhand grip on the guy on the top of the guy's shirt and pulled him to the ground.
Yeah,
and it looked the grappling side of it looked really short, but really one-sided. He did fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he'd like followed that up by getting on top of that guy, he could have really punished him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they kept it much classier than like a World Star hip hop fight. Those fights were like they throw you on the ground and you like hit your head on the curb and you're like stunned and it's just some jackass World Star and they like him and his conga line of friends come over and just boot you right in the bridge of the nose over and over. And it's like this guy's probably dead. Like you genuinely might have killed this guy as they're like dancing around going World Star.
World
It's like
Star.
it's I don't know. Anyone who's ever yelled World Star in public, that's like if I were the dictator, there would be Judge Dredd's like hidden all throughout, and they would only come out when they heard World Star, and then they'd go over there and they'd summarily execute everyone.
You've never
involved.
mockingly yelled World Star, Taylor?
with me.
I've never yelled World Star and kicked someone in the back of the head. Well, if they show up and it's like a couple of girls, with the hair pulling fight, it's like all right. But if there's a girl on the ground getting her head stomped in, then they're just gonna have to kill everyone and the girl who was getting her head stomped in because she's clearly a bit of a ruffian.
Yeah.
She could be a victim. Sometimes the girl getting head stomped in can be
He's the victim.
Yeah, can be a person who's like, what? No, like I use mean words, and,
Yeah.
and they
I
find
was being a
themselves
cunt.
in a mean actions problem that she
I
found
gave your
herself in.
husband syphilis, but that's no call to be attacking me. I just got my hair done. It's like, you're fucked. You're about to get head stomped. World star.
World star.
World star. I'd like to see it used in a conversation more instead of yelled out. World star. And the fight begins. See, I feel like World Star would be the perfect sponsor for the Wings Keem fight, right? Like if you could get something like that on board, fucking stream that shit on the World Star homepage. Like there's so many, you can make so much money off
You're
this thing.
probably
I realize,
right. Macabre Woody was going live leak on this thing.
yeah. Another reason why, if you're watching this, Keem, don't do it.
With I was talking about him in Wings, but
Oh, I thought I just imagine because I feel like Woody's like picturing like Mortal Kombat finishers or something like that. Like, oh, you have to put it on live.
I'm not even 100% sure I'd win. I tell you what, I'm 100% sure I'd win if there was no striking, right? Because what happens to people who don't know how to really grapple is they just don't have offensive moves, and eventually will lose, even if they get a good position. But when they're striking, if there's a good position, they can do some damage. But I like my odds. I'm taller than Keemstar is.
What if Keemstar said, "Oh, Woody, I'll do it, but it's got to be boxing. It's not rolling around. It's just boxing."
The trouble with that is I think I would lose. It just
Is
boxing?
Keemstar, is he a boxer?
No,
he not?
but
Not a
he's
boxer.
stronger than me. He's like 50 pounds heavier than me. I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I
he
gotta
cut
hear-
all that weight because
You got a year to get a boxing trainer. We'll get you a Mickey.
Oh, you'd believe if there was a year, I would
You'll get
definitely
to it,
get
Rock.
some boxing training. But so would he. And
about 6 months. You think you could do it in 6 months?
I don't think 6 months changes me into a better boxer than like my stand-up game is just.
He's done boxing before. See, that's the thing.
I've done boxing before, sure, and Muay Thai,
Yeah.
but I think you put me in there against a guy who's stronger, and I don't know that I win. Right? I'm not special at boxing, but in grappling, yeah, I really think it'd be pretty lopsided, even if he's stronger. I mean, I've handled guys much stronger than Keemstar before.
That's why he'd never agree to do that, though, because you've done that for years and he hasn't. So
That's the only thing I'd agree to because I
But
want to win.
he wouldn't be 50 pounds heavier than you by the time of the fight because
You're
he's going to
lining
be
this
trying
up
to like.
as if I'm interested in a fair fight. No, I'm a millionaire that does not need $25,000. I will take candy from a baby, but I will not take a fair fight.
See, I thought that this was more just you wanting to fight him. I didn't even know money was on the table for this one.
Oh,
I thought it
that's
was
part
just
of the
a-
deal. But we
a
lined
fight
it
me
all
at
out. I would
PAX
have to
kind
get
of
the
thing.
25 grand and then half of whatever profits came from it.
Okay.
Guaranteed accounting. Put it in the contract.
See,
It's not my first contract.
see, I mean, I gotta say, I'd be more interested in watching him fight Wings because part of the fun would be watching Wings' transformation over the course of the year.
That-
Being like, holy shit, 3 months ago, I was ready to put all my chips on the Keemstar's going to beat him handily,
Mhm.
square. And now he's really kicked it into high gear and Wings is looking way better than, like, that would be the interesting part, how the bets would change as it
But
went on.
if they fought today, my money's on Keem 100,000%.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
only way that I put my money on Wings is if Wings worked out seriously for a year and trained with a professional, I think he wins. Because he would if he trained every day for a year, he would literally be down to 330 pounds. He would lose 120 pounds in a year, no problem, training
Put on some muscle,
boxing
too.
every day. And he'd be gaining muscle too. He'd be a much fitter, faster fighting machine and much wider, much taller, much more physical human being. And I feel like he could muscle Keemstar into the corner of a ring potentially, and then he wouldn't need to be fast. He would have him, right? Like it would be a freak fight to begin with because he's much bigger than he'd outweigh his opponent by 130 pounds, right? Like he could get Keem into a corner and really work on him. My money would be on him. Or if Keem put on enough weights to match Wings' weight. Like if he put on a backpack with 250 pounds in it to match Wings' weight of 450 pounds, then my money's on Wings again. Because I'm going to tell you, if I had to fight Wings of Redemption with, if you equalized our weight with backpacks of weight on me, or like there are like chest weights and leg weights, like if you did your best to like Goku style equalize our weights with like weights all over me, he beat my ass. There's no way I could go any more than a few seconds with 300 pounds of weight on me. It just wouldn't. I couldn't do it. I'd be tuckered the fuck out. There's no way. He'd run circles, or like I know he's not an agile guy. He'd run fucking circles around me with 300 pounds on my body.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can stand.
Right. Yeah, and even maybe you'd be able to stand from a chair, but could you walk? I mean, like a farmer's walk with 150 pounds in each hand, right? Just like imagine that.
And you wouldn't
I
be
couldn't do it. I don't
like
know.
balanced the way like a body is.
Yeah,
more so. Like you'd
if he
be
hit
like,
you, you'd slink.
But
like it would like slap, like move some, and so you'd be like
Yeah.
having to deal with like the. Or I guess fat does that too, but not the same way a weight vest
I
would.
feel like the meanest guy in the call because I keep circling back to Wings has never done anything in the almost 10 years that we've known him that would imply he would get into fighting shape. Even
It's true.
a year from
First
now,
time for everything.
he could be in worse shape.
This
And-
is a lot of motivation, though. I don't think he's ever had this like direct motivation of like, look, Wings, 12 months from now, there's a $75,000 payday that's coming through. All right, $75,000 fucking cash is coming to you, like minimum from this thing. We're gonna promote this thing. This thing is gonna be viewed here, here, and here. We've got 4 sponsors. You're gonna be wearing these fighting shorts, this fighting shirt. Your fucking gloves say this on them. The ring says that on them. We're selling tickets over at the amateur boxing rink in like Minneapolis or wherever we're fighting this thing. This is going to be a big deal. Everything is in order. All you have to do, we've already paid the trainer in advance. He's coming to your house every day. He's picking you up. He's taking you to the ring in Conway, and he's not leaving without you, and he's not bringing you back home until 5 p.m. Let's go. Like, if
That's
you could make
so
that
much.
happen.
You put up a $75 gift card to Steak and Shake, and I'll fight Chiz in a month.
Now, you get me thinking here. Woody, could we make some money fighting Taylor and Chiz? Because I'll tell you what, if you offered Chiz $10,000 to get in shape in a year and fight Taylor, he would latch on. He would latch on the way I'm talking about Wings latching on.
I disagree. I don't think Chiz would latch. Chiz likes money, but I think I don't know what Chiz's net worth is, but I suspect it's much sweeter than we think it is. I think 10 grand is fuck all to Chiz.
Chiz. So I agree with everything you just said.
Mhm.
Chiz has plenty of money, but he always likes more. He's a little Jew in him.
Oh,
And-
I know.
He does have money.
He ate him, and he's always looking for that motivation. He's always said that. He's like, if somebody would just bet me, X amount of money to lose the weight, that's all I'd need. He's always trying to get people to bet him that he can't lose the weight. He's looking for an excuse to do these things.
I would immediately start training.
You would?
already
You're
worked out.
already training. You're like, I would start training 10 months ago.
Yeah. Get my cardio up.
Dude, I have a related
Learn how to
thing.
box.
Chiz is a lot bigger than you.
Chiz is
He's a
big,
couple inches
actually.
taller, but he also weighs. He's got a lot more. I'm more muscular than Chiz by a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got a higher potential.
That's true. That's true. He could. Well, I don't know. It depends.
I don't know
depends
what
how hard
Chiz's
he's willing to
skinny
work.
body would look like.
Oh, it'd be frightening.
No, Chiz could definitely put up a fight if he really put it in. Like put in the effort, learned how to fight, lost the weight, didn't drink cake shakes.
I'll put in five. I'll put in $5,000. If Woody will put in $5,000. Winner take all boxing match in 8 months.
Why do I have to pay $5,000? No. I'm
You're the-
I'm at least as Jewy as Chiz is, I think. I think Chiz has 3 cars right now. What was I going to say? Oh,
Smart financial decisions. Yeah.
they're all inexpensive cars, and apparently he got fabulous
yeah.
deals on them. But
I've heard that too. I was
Yeah.
just giving him shit. I know he's not stupid.
he's not.
He's
was
not.
I
He's a very smart
gonna
guy.
say something. Oh! I started my Fitness Pal. I think I'm on a 5-day streak.
Oh, good for you.
Whatever that's worth. It has been.
Have you been good about logging everything in the meals, like the oils, like all the like every ingredient because it's super
Yes.
easy to
Even
forget that.
butter put on the pan, for
Yep,
cooking
perfect.
purposes. Yeah. So I've been I've been as good as possible. Like today is a good example. I flew whatever as far as I could go, and then I landed and I took the airports have courtesy cars. Did you know there was this whole like you can just show up to a fucking airport and they give you a car, even on a flying backpack? So we took the car and we got lunch, and where I'm headed to with this is I just had to guess. I got a tuna melt, so I just picked the most sinful tuna melt on the list and assumed it was close to what I ate. Because I don't know, it's like a non-chain food tuna melt. But I log everything I eat. I do it as honestly as possible. And what's amazing about MyFitnessPal is the education you get from it. I have mentioned my trail mix as my weakness before. I did not know what I was doing to me. I didn't know.
With how caloric the trail mix is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, peanuts, almonds, all that shit, packed with calories.
Whoa. Like I'll have a bowl of fruit in the morning for breakfast that I think is maybe pushing it a little, and it's just fruit, blueberries, strawberries, clementine, banana. And and I look at it all and I'm like, when I picked the individual ingredients, I didn't know it was going to be a whole bowl. And you add it all up there and whatever, and it's like 280 calories or something. Like it's reasonable breakfast. And then 280 calories in trail mix form is like putting trail mix on the bottom of a bowl and not having them stack on top of each other.
It was like laying them down like a ceramic tile in a bathroom.
Yeah,
Like,
a single layer of trail mix in a bowl is like maybe double layer is 280 calories. What I would take as a healthy snack, like a non-sinful thing, if I was like having a hard time to make it dinner, would be like a fistful of almonds. I did not realize I was having like 300 calories to hold me over to a 480 calorie dinner. And
I like peanuts more than trail mix, like the Redskin Spanish peanuts. I eat those all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have like I have my measuring cups over there, quarter cup. That's 170 calories of it. And if I want a little more than that, I'll take a half of a quarter cup for like another, 85 calories or whatever it is. And like when I first started doing that, I'd be like, oh, a quarter cup of peanuts. That sounds like a good bit. And like you put it in a little bowl and you're like, this is like no peanuts.
That's 2 dozen peanuts.
Yeah, it really is. It's hardly anything.
Yeah.
But like nuts and seeds are the easiest thing to eat because they are good for you. But just
but they're just
like
packed.
they're much more difficult. Yeah,
dude.
As vegetables, you can eat as much as you want. Like I'm about to make burgers after this for myself with low-calorie buns, lean ground beef, and spinach and tomatoes and all the shit that you put on burgers, and a side of a giant bowl of salad, and that's only like altogether like 600 calories. That's my big meal for the day.
And like the rest. So one of the things I eat that Jackie makes has like 2 tablespoons of butter or something, like a lot of butter. And she starts adding up all the ingredients, and it's like, a cup of snap peas, 4 ounces of chicken, and this and that. And you're all like, this isn't bad. And you're like, holy smokes. The butter is as much as this entire recipe. It's a big deal. And so what MyFitnessPal gets you is the eye-opening of experience of where your calories are coming from. I thought I knew, and I knew that trail mix was bad, but I didn't understand the ratios. I had underestimated it severely. And also I didn't know this, but you just keep your phone in your pocket and it tracks your steps, and those steps are worth calories. And so it, like, for me, a pretty active day might buy me 200 more calories, and an inactive day will buy me like 60 more.
But I'm very like anally following MyFitnessPal. I take precautions to make it harder on myself. So like I'll set the calorie counter like 100 lower than what it says. I say that I live a completely sedentary life, which isn't true. And so then that makes it so it doesn't go as low. And I always weigh on the side of like being liberal with the amount of like olive oil or butter or whatever. I haven't bought butter in fucking 8 months. Like I only use olive oil to cook for the most part. I don't know if that actually helps that much, but I guess it's a little lower calorie, and it's got better fats in it for you. But yeah, I like when I feel like I have momentum you know, like you're on a, you know, week or two kick. And it was so fucking aggravating being sick so much recently. It was only like, I guess yesterday that I was able to start working out again after almost 2 weeks of not doing it. And I am so much sorer today than I was before. Like I can feel myself getting back into it. I worked out. It usually my workout, because I was doing this, I haven't mixed it up in like a month or like 6 weeks. And it usually would take me before I got sick about 65 minutes to get through the whole thing. If I'm going like hard the whole time, it took me an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 45 minutes yesterday, because like
That's
I would
a
like
big
go back.
difference.
Oh yeah. Like I'd be going back to like, you know, pressing or doing whatever. And I'm like, like I'm just getting fucking fatigued faster.
Did you lower your weights?
And no, I didn't want to lower my weights or change the reps or
It's a
anything,
mental
because
thing,
I was
yeah.
like, I'm not going to go backwards. There's no way I'm going backwards. I actually added another exercise because I figured, well, no better time than now. This is going to suck anyway. So maybe that's not a good way to recover. But
so I'm 5 weeks into weightlifting now. I'm exaggerating. This is my 5th week of weightlifting. I haven't missed a day, and I've been dieting well now for a weekish, and I don't know. I feel good. I did the not sedentary, but the one like lightly active or something like that because I thought it was accurate. But I always finish with lots of calories, like 600 calories. My first day, and like I said, I'm honest with it. It was like, you did not eat enough. This isn't a healthy level of food. But mostly it says like, hey, you'll weigh this much in 5 weeks. I'm like, oh, I would love to weigh that much in 5 weeks. So we'll see.
yeah, that's a motivating thing. And I like when you put something in there that's like clearly bad for you, but like the algorithm in the app, like I'll put like Red Robin Whiskey River barbecue cheeseburger with onion straws, and it's like, this food is high in protein. And I'm like, yes, it is, app. Yes, it is.
Oh, it knocked me today. What did it say?
You shouldn't have that much sodium. And I'm like, don't berate me, free app.
One time when I added almonds towards the end of the day, it said that my diet was too high in fats, and it's not saying it. But when I had the tuna melt, it said it was high in something I didn't want. I don't remember. I thought it would be right in front of me. Yeah, but I have like 1,100 calories left today.
Oh yeah, all I've had today so far is a double protein shake, and so I'm about to feast after this.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I like to finish way under the calorie goal, but I don't like it when it tells me like you're unhealthily not eating, because I am trying to sculpt a little bit, you know, like you're lifting weights, you're trying to get.
They legally have to tell you, like, because of the app, like if you eat under 1,200 calories, it has to say this isn't healthy. It's like no shit. Yeah, it's like no shit, retard. Like you, of course, I'm not gonna eat like this forever. Like,
yeah, I gained a few pounds back, and I hate that is true, but it is, and I think I can reach a new low in March, and that's the objective.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's where
I'm glad we're all on it. I know Kyle's still doing his diet of.
Are you, Kyle? Are you still dieting?
I lost about 5 or 6 pounds, and so I've cut back from my like spinach and grilled chicken and tuna thing to like just one meal a day. So today I had went to KFC, good stuff. I got they had these new Reba McEntire is the new Colonel, by the way. I'm sure you guys don't follow the KFC marketing program, but they bring in a new Colonel every 6 months or so, and it's Reba McEntire now.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Does she dress
it's great.
like the Colonel?
She looks a lot like the Colonel, and she sings a little at the end. It's finger licking good. It's great. She's got like the beard, the whole thing. She looks like the Colonel, and they've got 3 different kinds of chicken tenders. They've got the Georgia Gold. They've got some sort of I don't remember the others, but they have like a honey mustard chicken tender, and they have a spicy chicken tender, and it comes with this. It's 3 chicken tenders covered in some sort of sauce with a biscuit and a side. And so I got 2 of those meals. So it's 6 chicken tenders, mashed potatoes and gravy, potato wedges, 2 biscuits, 2 apple pies, and a large Dr. Pepper. So that was all I've eaten today, and that's all I'm gonna eat today. And that's
by
that
itself,
works out.
It might not be. I look at my days and I'm like, this is a gain day, this is a loss day, and they sound backwards, but the loss is the good one. And you might have a loss day if that's all you eat.
Yeah, I Probably so. I mean, I don't.
Did
I
you
don't
have a
really
large
know.
Dr. Pepper or a Diet Dr. Pepper?
A large Dr. Pepper. I wanted it. For some reason in my head I was like, that's what'll complement this meal the
Taylor,
best.
how do you
All right,
find
so you are. I already looked it up.
how? Did you
I
just
put
Google it or
calories in large Dr. Pepper KFC, and then
Oh, okay.
calories in 3 spicy chicken tenders. Doubled that, so you're at about a little over 1,100 calories just with that. But you had a side as well, didn't you?
I had mashed potatoes and gravy and potato wedges.
A large mashed potato.
No, no, like the side order.
Okay, well it's certainly okay. A side only 120, but the gravy's more. It's probably like 160.
The gravy was
And
good.
then you had what kind of potato wedges? What side?
Side of potato wedges, the smallest amount. There really weren't a lot of potato wedges in there, and they weren't very
I'd be
beefy
s-
potatoes.
You only added 40 for the gravy. That can't be true.
It's a very small amount of
About
gravy. Like
300 for the wedges. So you're like what, like 1,600 calories for that meal?
the
and
two apple
so-
pies.
No, you didn't have 2 apple pies.
I had 2 apple pies. They were 2 for $1.60. How could I say no?
Actually,
Okay, well then this isn't a losing day for you. You ate 2,100 calories in one meal at KFC ish.
the calories were 81, so you're actually pretty close with 60.
Yeah, it's like 20. Those 500 calories in apple pie.
I had already purchased everything. She was handing me the bag back, but I could see along stuck to the building there was a billboard that said 2 apple pies for $1.60, and I was like, I want 2
You
apple
almost
pies.
have to buy it.
I don't want to lose money on
I
this.
don't lose money on it. So
Yeah,
and honestly,
It's
They were
funny
good.
though that is the kind of thing that logging my diet opens my eyes to. Like I would not have guessed that 2 apple pies were about as much as everything else combined, including the sodas.
really were they? Because they were like this big.
Well, the
It's
2 apple
1,100
pies were-
versus 1,000, right?
No, the 2 apple pies are 500 total. The
Oh,
bulk of it was your wedges, your
mashed potatoes.
mashed
gravy.
potatoes, and then
6 fingers.
all your strips. That got you to like 1,500 on its own, or 1,400 on its own.
Yeah.
And the next time, just spring for the diet Dr. Pepper and save yourself 350 calories.
I wanted to, but I felt like if I said it, she was gonna laugh. Because
yeah.
because I only got one. When I ordered the second meal, she's like, "Do you need a drink with that one?" I was like, "No." Oh,
if
no.
you were
it's,
fat,
it's just
then
one of
she
me.
would laugh. But if because
true.
you're not fat, you could get away with it.
As a rule of thumb, I would guess Kyle burns about 2,100 calories a day. It's just ballpark.
Yeah, you're
That kind of
probably
thing I
around
didn't
there,
know
maybe a little higher.
until recently. Mine's at 2,090, so I just gave him 10. I don't know why.
My sex is extra vigorous now. Could you bump me up to
An extra
2250?
10 calories. Yeah.
You're making a lot of sense to me. I'll approve it. So
Drink a lot of ice water. Yeah.
People. I think the ice water. I'm onto something there. Like the colder the water you drink, the more calories it burns because your body has to maintain its body temperature. So if you're putting ice water in, it has to do work to heat your body back up to 98.6.
I've had
Yeah,
a
but
related
that's literally what calories are, is the amount of energy it takes to heat 1 cubic
But I have a related theory.
centimeter of water,
and I want to
1
lay
degree.
it out. I think Kyle's right if it's cold out, right? But if it's hot out, then your body works to cool by perspiring and doing whatever it does. So warm fluids, like warm water, for example, might cause your body to work extra hard to get itself cooled down.
I'm not buying that one because I don't
No,
think
because
sweating
it
burns
loses
calories.
heat on its own. Yeah, I don't know. But like the whole cold water thing, that's true. But I've also looked up that it's like an infinitesimal
See, I
difference.
add ice.
If you
enemas
sleep
to
without a
mine.
blanket in the cold, you'll burn way more calories than whatever temperature beverage you
Shivering all night, you're telling me, is the way to go.
I knew
choose.
a girl
Or just
who did that.
spring for the
kind
diet
of.
soda. I gave you that option.
There's a girl who was a swim coach, and she basically shivered for the first 4 hours a day. Like being wet and instructed. It was like at a lake they did their swim practice, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I always get super thin, just shivering, telling the kids to do their thing."
Jesus Christ. That sounds torturous,
'Cause
but
she'd be in
effective.
and out demonstrating like how to swim properly. She was very good, and
Okay.
yeah, it just froze her.
So did you watch the new Walking Dead?
Oh, I didn't know it was out.
Fuck.
No. We're over an hour, we're like an hour 15.
Oh,
If
well,
you wanna-
Yes. You guys want to call it
Sorry.
a show? I gotta go make my food. I'm
Yeah.
starving.
yeah, I guess so.
Oh, you know, Kyle, I could go all night. I don't know how you guys are thinking.
Okay.
we can. Well, I guess we'll cover Walking Dead on PKA. Make sure you watch it. It's it came back, so we find out what happens with Carl, and they get that all wrapped up.
Well,
Pins and needles.
All right. PKN episode 184.